do I purge? Oh my God, I can't purge. Oh, how do I purge? And then I went so many times, and in the beginning it was quite dark, kind of black. And I started to purge, and then I saw like a tube vortex down through my root to the earth, and I started to pull it and purge it. So at some point I didn't know what was mind and what was humanity, and I didn't know how to stop and when to stop. And in the end, my fingers were like this, with energy, like stuck, and I was like trying to get it out. Really weird, really, really weird. And yeah, a lot of darkness came out from this ceremony. I think it was more of a difficult experience than a pleasant experience for all, you know, because there was so much collective clearing there. A lot of, for me personally, a lot of like my space. What is my space? Because I'm usually so much for the people that I don't have my own space in life, and that was a bit desperating. But a very illuminating as well, because now I have clear steps on, yeah, okay, I can help, I can take care of people, but first I need to conquer my space. They call the individuation process, right? It's so deep.
Claim your space.
So deep. Yeah, it's really beautiful. We did a constellation work for the new paradigm and the old paradigm. And old paradigm is feeling lonely and forgotten and sad, and the new paradigm is just there in the light, just waiting. And yeah, they will come close together. They will get together, and things will happen, but it will take a while. Then we did another constellation between Gaia Alliance, the New Earth, and Gaianet, and darkness, and humanity, and resistance. I represented humanity. Michael represented resistance. Helma represented darkness. And darkness is not the bad thing, you know. Nothing is the bad thing. Resistance needs to be integrated by all for things to work. As humanity, I felt like here and there and wobbly with everything and everyone, and there was so much that I didn't know where to go and what to do. But it will work, you know. It takes a while. And there was the new Earth governance that is connected to the Nisara Gesara and all those things, and is the hope as the new Earth governance starts to be implemented. It feels like it's the trigger that humanity needs to be hopeful again and change. Was very strong for resistance, because resistance felt the resistance against itself, and yeah, if it's integrated, things will work out. Everything will work out, and the part of us that resists needs to be accepted too, because that allowed us to live all this time. If we didn't resist, if we were just surrendering to everything, we wouldn't have survived as humanity.
We wouldn't evolve.
So we wouldn't evolve, yeah. It's really beautiful. Also, we had 3 days of event where where we set the intentions and expectations and everything. Mostly we wanted to have clear steps, but the energy overall in the end didn't allow us to have clear steps, because it was a process of understanding more your place and who you are. Now the energy happened. We are all connected physically now. So we'll disperse, share our light where we are for the next steps in 2-3 months. Yeah. What else? Yeah, I think that's the. She was talking about kind of like the individuation process, but not so specifically that. And Michelle was writing a story about this guy that was immersed in unconditional love, so immersed that he drowned and he lost himself. So it's like, oh shit. I get the message now, universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
You first got to take care of yourself.
To claim.
Otherwise, you can't give anymore because you're gone. You're dead. You're empty. Yeah.
Yeah. And also he said that at some point he said it's the most elevated beings who are most judged and criticized. And yeah, because I'm so like love and this, it's gonna work out, and so much faith and everything, that it triggers something in people. It triggers their resistance.
Exactly. And the darkness.
And the darkness. And most times I feel like it's like a personal attack against me.
It's not.
That I'm the one that is wrong. I always felt like I was the one that was wrong and not the whole planet. So how do I stand up for myself and create something somehow that is mine? I mean,
and your integrity.
It's not only about empowering people. Yeah.
First empowering yourself.
Yeah.
But your own integrity.
So in that sense, I started. What?
You're standing in your own integrity sounds kind of easy, but it's very important. It's your stability, but it's not easy because we're still human, and we wanna reflect that. They say in human design, they call it the homogenization, being the same as everybody else to fit in. But the age that we are now and have entered is the individuation, standing in your own truth, in your own integrity. But it's new to us. So that's why it feels hard. But it's the only way to survive. And not only for yourself to survive, but for humanity to survive. And when you keep that in mind, then you are able to not take it personally anymore. Because when you trigger people, you give them an opportunity to heal the resistance and to heal the darkness, because you're touching it, So it's an ugly job,
yeah.
But somebody's got to do it, and only the lightest beings can do it.
Yeah. But that makes me feel not seen and not loved.
Yes, but you are loved.
But it's because I have to, and I have to give this to myself first.
Right. How do you?
So if that happens, I won't feel like that.
Right.
By empowering myself.
Right. And then when you see yourself, you don't need others to see you, because you're here.
Yeah. So true.
Sounds so easy, right?
Yeah, it sounds really easy.
Yeah. But I know the struggle. I know it. But being able to not see it personally anymore, to get that into your consciousness on all levels, that will set you free.
For sure. It is setting me free. Today I started writing this project proposal for myself, which is, I don't know if it's to write a book or to write a course on sacred sexuality, because I know the way. So I feel like sharing this with the world and not doing it in a group of people. I'm hiding myself in a group of people always. So yeah, to create this, which is a knowledge that I have somehow, I made this group of 4 other women that also have this beautiful knowledge that can help, but it's another way for me to escape myself. So I'm starting. I have clear steps, and yeah.
That's standing in your own integrity. It's doing what you love and what you feel is right for you to do, and not care about what any other person says or thinks about it, or says you got to do this. Oh no, that's not you. No, you feel inside that it is you, and that it's the part of you that you want to give, and then it's the good thing. No matter what the outcome is, this is what you're here to bring, even if it's just for 1, 2, or 10, or 100 people, or doesn't matter. Even I had learned that if you're not doing it just even for the one person that you can touch with your wisdom, then who are you doing it for? Maybe it is just this one person that needs to hear what you have to say and have to share. Because maybe that being, that person, is going to do this big thing, because of you.
Yeah. I agree. And to also create and share this knowledge, because if I'm hiding between people, not hiding, but somehow hiding, then it's not my light that they are seeing. They're seeing the light that I give to other people away for nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And for the person...
It was a bit desperating, though, because I was like, what am I? I'm no one.
You're Marina.
No, Marina.
Yes, you are. In this life, you are.
Yeah.
But again, maybe the people that don't see you right now or never are not the people you were meant to touch. Because the right people will see you and will see your light and will come to you for the wisdom that you have to bring. And those who do not see are not for your path.
Yeah, for sure.
But because you gave your heart, like for now, like in Gaianet, and you feel like you have to be seen because you chose to be a part of it. And then you feel, the rejection, and then the not being seen, not being heard, and not being valued. And, who's Marina? They don't see me. But, maybe you were in here because you have met some other people through Gaianet now that are a part of your path and will lead you to another path.
You broke a little bit. That are a part?
I said, well, you entered the Gaianet, because it felt right, and you gave your heart, and you met some people that are seeing you and have shown you some new worlds or wisdoms or whatever. And then you get to choose, okay, this was just a part of this to get here. And then you just, make a choice and you go another direction or whatever, or a different role, what we talked about. But it's all part of
You broke again, right in the core of what you wanted to say. Why is it not coming through? I want to hear it.
Maybe it may not be shared yet or something. I don't know.
Oh shit! No, just one more time.
Okay.
Let's just try. Universe, please.
Okay. I said that when you enter a community like Gaianet, you meet new people. And you get acquainted to new communities or new pathways or new people, whatever. And that you get a choice when you're not being seen or seen in a way that you have something to bring and they are not ready to receive, or they are not the people you have to reach. So it's just an in-between station. And because you went here, you're able to go there. So by these new interactions and acquaintances and communities, people, whatever, you get to choose to go the other pathway. So it's not a loss when you choose to go somewhere else or to take a different role, what we've talked about in Gaianet, because it has brought you to a next stage on your path to the right people and the right environment. Did it come through?
For sure. Yes, now we did. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if I'm ready to leave Gaianet yet.
No, you don't have to leave. But if you feel like now that you weren't being seen and not being heard and being left out, it means, okay, then this is the part within this community that is not a part of your path. But maybe another path in this community is your path. And you just move with it, try it, and not cling to the part that it doesn't accept you or doesn't see you or doesn't fulfill you.
Yeah, that's good. But did you have like a breakthrough in Aya?
Oh, it was so beautiful. Yeah. The funny thing is, and it was really funny. In the beginning, the first drink, Dan didn't give me too much. He said afterwards, just to see how you react. So the first time, everybody already puked, and I was like, nothing is happening. And I was just looking and enjoying the whole, I'm the person that likes to observe, right? That's the sixth line, that just likes to see what's happening and just enjoying even the ugly stuff. And then he said, anybody want a rapé? And that was after the second one. No, I have to go back. Rewind. So the second one, he said, how did it go? I said, I didn't feel anything. He says, okay. So he gave me something more. And I was just lying there listening to the music. And I was like, suddenly I saw something. I was like, what's that? Oh, it's working. So then I lay down, with my blanket and like in myself. And I started laughing loud. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't make a sound, because Dan said, if you want to laugh, you please, think of the people around you. And I was like, funny. The first thing came, life is a cosmic joke. That was the first thing that came to me. And I was only laughing. So, and then, I saw whatever you saw. I saw all these colors and things, and suddenly some beast came, and I was like, yeah, come on, show me the ugly stuff. I'm not afraid. I know who you are. And they just went away, right? So I was in control. And I had beautiful visions and some sort of quotes, I don't remember them now, but the day after I spoke them into my audio. So I do have the recording of it, what came to me. And then after that second round, I got this headache because I hadn't puked. And everybody was puking and crying and everything. And I just had this big headache. And before I went in, I already said, there's something here. There's a blockage in my head and it needs to go. So I had this experience as well, that like this little nanobots went through my body, scanning everything, checking everything. And I was like, yeah, go to my head because something is wrong there, So my hands were like just my hands were going like this. But I still didn't puke. I must admit, I was a bit afraid of puking. So then the moment came, the Don said, does anybody want to pay? And I said, yeah, I'll give it. And he was like, how much? And I was like, yeah, hit me. Well, he hit me after the first one. I was like, oh my God. I said, come on, second one. And like 2 seconds later, that was the only big one. And my headache was gone.
Good.
My headache was gone.
Okay.
So then I went to lie down, and then the second day we had you have 2 vines, right? So we had another one. I believe the yellow one. You have a feminine and a male energy Aya, I believe. So the second day, now let me go back to the first day. Then I took my 3rd drink, and then I just stood there with Mother Earth, or I see her as higher self, as I'm a part of the earth. So we were standing beside, and we were looking at my body and really appreciating and saying thank you for your beautiful gift that you are giving, this beautiful journey of your life, and you're doing so well. We are so proud of you. And then I had to cry just because of the love that I felt, and the appreciation, and the confirmation that I really did my best, that I wasn't lacking anywhere. I was a little bit afraid of, now I'm gonna hear it, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right. But I got the message like, no, we're so proud, and you're doing so well, and you're so good on your way, you're perfect where you need to be, and do this, then everything will be fine, sort of. And then the second day, it was really different, because I sat down and she was really soft and gentle. And I asked her again, so like, I really don't want to puke. And she said to me, okay, no worries. I'm going to warn you up front when you have to sit and when you're going to puke, and we take it slowly. So each time when I went
Who told you that?
Yeah, Mother, my higher self.
Okay.
I don't know. The one, I will tell you who the one was that is doing that. And then, she said, well, do I have to sit up? No, few seconds, just wait for it. And she's like, yeah, you can sit up. And so I put my bucket. One moment, here she comes. And then, that's how it went. And then at this one moment, she took over. So she took my hands, and I was sitting there with my eyes over. Okay, everybody looks I'm crazy now. I don't care. So we made these movements, So I started a conversation like, okay, so you're telling me now that you're the boss, that I'm not the boss over my own body. She said, yes. And, so I had to laugh, and I was like, okay, so if I want to let my hand down, I can't. Or are you controlling it? And she said, yeah, I'll show you. And poof, my arm fell down. And then I had to laugh again. I'm like, okay. So she pulled it up again. And then she laughed with me. And I said, okay, you're the boss. Just show me, So we made these movements. And like I said to you before about healing yourself. So I made some movements, and she showed me about the sensations, the gifts of being able to feel your own skin. And that you are able to see and to smell, to taste and to hear. And I can't even repeat it anymore, but it was so beautiful and so soft. And all the things that I saw and how she interacted with me was so lovingly. And so, when I think back of it now, I think consciousness in whole, or source that you are a part of, you are just a fractal of source, showed me that I think divine will, if I think about it now, that's the divine will, you're just a vessel of this consciousness. And I think that's what she showed me, that we think, our ego thinks that we are in control. And also, when you become aware, and ego is able to take a step aside and just be led, then by the divine will, then your body will give you these sensations on exactly where you need to go in life. And then you will have the life you were meant to have. I feel that's what she showed me. Like I'm in control, you know, she placed my hands everywhere and, you know, so yeah. So it was very, very beautiful and soft for me. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I puked a few times, but very softly. And yeah, afterwards I had a lot of, you know, sort of phrases and insights, and looking back after to this year, all these things that you already mentioned. So somewhere at some point I was like, "Ah, that's what she said. That's what I got then." That's, you know, all these confirmations. And yeah, so I asked Dan in September or so for another Aya with him personally, because now you know, we were in the environment with 16 other peoples, and I was really curious on how it would be like when you're just in your own energy, right? But then he got married and he didn't have time, so it didn't happen. But I am looking forward to do it next year, and to see with this consciousness now that has grown so much this year, and everything that is happening in this new age, what it's gonna bring to me. But I'm also aware that an ayahuasca is just going into your own house by the back door, and with breathing you go into the front door. So that's with breathing, that the breathing techniques that I do. I also get these kind of states that I see things and messages and pictures and insights and dreams. So I feel that it's not necessarily a need, but I think my ego just likes the confirmation in an ayahuasca.
For sure.
Yeah. But the beauty was,
it's a very strong confirmation.
Yeah. And what the most astounding thing was the day after, when I was home, and that first night sleep at home, I had this moment that I don't know if I shared it before, but I kind of, you know, was lucid or astral, I don't know, somewhere in between. And I saw this huge big light, like I was in a hospital room, you know, with surgery, this big light. And I saw some kind of doctors, and they were trying to wake me up. So at this one moment I was, and I saw reality even more real than I am seeing it now. But I got afraid. So I pulled back. And at the moment I pulled back, I was like, damn, I missed it, you know. But I guess
okay, like you went into this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you went into this, I don't know, 5D or something, consciousness.
Something. Yeah.
Did you become everything? Did you feel like there were many souls with you? In you?
No, I felt one. I just felt one. And I had this moment before in an astral travel where I also, you know, went through space, and I saw this opening, and I was like, yeah, I have to go there. But then suddenly I saw this figure, and I thought it was an alien or a robot or an AI or something, and I pulled back again. So I missed two opportunities to go through, but that's okay.
I went there, I feel like I went there once, which was on my mushroom experience that I had. Instead of 2, I had 4 grams. I think I told you about it. And yeah, I felt like I became one, but the one was many. Like there were infinite amount of souls, and then it stopped being like visual, and it started being pure consciousness, and I was learning some sacred knowledge. Like behind that, it feels like there's the sacred knowledge, like, yeah, like, I don't know, telepathic communication and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was so interesting. But before that, we have to remove all strings with reality. And if we pull back with our mind, it's because our mind is still quite present.
Right.
So yeah, they just say like,
No, I think they just give you a glimpse of what's possible. You know?
Also,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think so too.
So now this
Yeah.
funny thing is that I speak light language in my sleep. I just Googled something and I came to this page. It was the first thing that came up in my Google. And I was like, okay, listen to this. So we had to wait because you hear some sounds. And then she started, speaking light language. And he was like, yeah, that's exactly what you were doing. That's exactly how it sounded. And I was like, really? Because I can't remember. But I did feel kind of, oh yeah, cool. To be honest, my ears are cool. But
yeah, it's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Now the question is how to allow this transmission while you're awake.
Right.
So you can feel it as it arrives to you.
Yeah. I did go these like 2 or 3 days ago. You get to the subconscious in your dreams, and then with the Toltec dreaming technique, you go deeper and deeper and deeper. Working with the obsidian mirror, and I sleep with the obsidian mirror under my pillow. I felt in the dream, I really went like there was this building, and I looked over to the floor, but this wall or where the floor was, this wall that was there was kind of a book like this behind me, but then like meters, like 600 feet deep. And I was like, I just jumped down, and I was like, going from one book shelf to another to get myself down really easy. And I started walking, and then I saw that the things that happened to me at the job where I got my burnout and left, where I quit my job. So when I woke up, I was like, okay, so there's still some things that I haven't processed yet. And that was the unfairness that I felt, and injustice.
The what?
Injustice that was done to me. But thinking about that consciously, I had to recognize that I might have been not that honest in my own responsibility in that. So I did feel that it was very beautiful that it came to my awareness that way.
Like you're not ready, and that's okay.
Like I was ready now. I wasn't conscious of it yet. I thought I processed it all, and I had forgotten, just moved on. But my unconscious showed me that there was still this thing that needed to be healed and worked on, to take a responsibility over. Yeah. So when I woke up, I was like,
it's a big thing.
Again? What?
But it's a big thing. Like, how did I let this happen to myself? How couldn't I have seen how this was hurting me and everything and all this time? But also it's also a bliss, because that's how you got here now. So you needed it. So weird.
Yeah, but I know that on a conscious level, but somehow unconsciously I didn't. And also what came to mind, and it's beautiful now that we're having this conversation, because we were talking about integrity. Why did it happen to me? Because I didn't stand in my integrity. Because my frustration is still that I didn't get to speak my truth, on how they hurt me and the reason for it. Because I felt there was no need to. But now I see that a part of that was my responsibility as well. What I didn't do was take my right place, just like you are saying now. What is my right place and what is my space? and that I need to stand in my integrity because that's my space and my place.
And it's a bit counterintuitive because we think like, oh yeah, like oneness and like taking care of the whole and everything. But to reach oneness, we have to go through the self.
Right. Because all is
and the self has all the things. Yeah. And the self holds all the things, all the pains, all the conditioning, all the everything.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And forgetting the self and jumping to the whole is not only an unservice, a disservice to self, but also a disservice to the whole.
Right.
Because I'm connecting to the whole, not from within.
Right.
From where? I don't know from where.
Ego.
Yeah, it's weird. The controlling society and controlling and us trying to control our own bodies through repression of sexuality, because sexuality is so core and it's related to how we deal with vital energy, that if in the beginning stages of our lives our parents say, oh, don't touch this, this is wrong, or they see the parents see the kids see the parents repressing their own sexuality and hiding naked bodies and like all of these things, they start to fear their sexuality. And by fearing the sexuality, we fear our freedom, and we fear also we fear being ourselves. So we never touch there. We never kind of really know who we are, because it's so related to sexuality, so related to how we manage vital energy. And it's no difference, right? Sexual energy and vital energy are the same.
Yeah.
They're just energy.
That's the Kundalini.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So he says like how even like cancer is a reason for that, because we don't acknowledge a feeling inside our body.
Mm-hmm.
And then that feeling and that part of the body starts to have a consciousness of its own. Okay. And also a dictatorship is the same, but it's on a macro level. Right. It's so crazy. So I came across him like the beginning of this year, and I started studying him. And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. Healing sexuality is how to heal humanity, because people hear sex, they already go like, what? Did I hear sex? It's like it's a normal, it's pre-installed conditioning to hear about those vital things. But what they hear right now is just scrap, and it's just low frequency. So like, yeah, that's where healing will start, because they will hear and they will want to know about it.
I can tell you.
And then that book, what?
I can give you an example with my best friend. She, both of her breasts are removed like 1.5 years ago now, and because of breast cancer. And we talked about it with the knowledge that I also have. And then she could bring it back to the moment that she was married for, I believe, 20 years, and she had twins. And then one point, she didn't feel alive, like in sexuality anymore, and drifted away sort of from her partner. And she met a guy, and it was like, boom. She said, my sexuality came alive. But then after a while, like a year or so, this guy she was ready to leave her husband and stuff. And this guy said, well, I'm not choosing you, so she had this deep pain because she had found something out about her body that she just wanted more, she came alive through sexuality. So then, okay, she was, crushed, and she tried with her husband, but they are divorced now, and she has a new boyfriend. He's also a best friend of mine. But when we talked about her breast cancer and about what you are saying about love, sexuality, and how it can sicken you and give you cancer, she said, that's the same thing that I feel. She said that the cancer started when this guy broke her heart, and the sexuality, the vitality stopped. So this makes a lot of sense what you are talking, and it's exactly what I was discussing with her, where it started. Because of course you talk about she had reconstruction and stuff and looks beautiful, and but there's always like, is it coming back? You know, she changed things in her lifestyle, and but I said when we discuss about, you know, the pain in the heart and repressed emotions and repressed sexuality, she feels that this is in her life now again with this new man. She has beautiful sexuality, even though she, you know, with the breast and everything, he really loves her and supports her, and they have good sex. And she feels, you know, she feels loved. So her heart and her sexuality, the vitality, has been restored. So she, well, she's aware, but she's not afraid that the cancer is coming back. And I do believe that that is the way that you are open for this vitality energy within you, your sexuality, and your heal your wounded heart, you know, because I feel that's a flow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really strong story. And like the breasts are like the nurturing. So when she felt like, yeah, even though I nurtured, this relationship didn't work, she might have blamed on herself. So yeah, I think that the healing has to do with this guy showing that she's able to have this energy and restore this energy within herself.
Right.
And when it was healed, he could leave. There was not more, like he didn't have to do more of this healing work with her, like, of course, subconsciously, not consciously. But then she had to integrate the lesson, and then it was so painful to not have it back. She just needs to understand that it's about nurturing, and her nurturing herself and allowing, right. Because yeah, of course, sexuality is better if we do it with someone else, but we don't need to have someone else to do that.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and that makes me think, like, why do we think love, romantic love, is so important? I mean, of course it is, but I say in my situation, I recognize myself so much more when I'm with someone else. And why is that? Why do I punish myself when it goes wrong with someone else? When we're just instruments for each other to learn and to grow and to heal. Yeah.
But I think you can only let someone go when you truly love yourself. And that's the most difficult part.
Yourself.
Acceptance
Yeah.
of self. That you are enough. I know I had a lot of struggle, and still sometimes have this monkey mind that says, are you enough? You know, am I doing enough? Am I, you know? But then again, I feel like, yeah, but I really love who I am right now, even when I'm not my thinnest at this moment, you know, or even if I'm not young anymore, even not if my arms are starting to, you know, I'm getting older, right? But it's beautiful. So, you know, but a lot of people have trouble with that because of the conditioning that you don't matter if you're not beautiful. And what is beauty? What is beauty? For me, it's the way I feel when I talk to someone. Sometimes I can remember having conversations with people where your first thought might have been like, that person isn't that beautiful, you know. But I feel their energy, and I just start talking sometimes to maybe a stranger or whatever on a festival or whatever. And then suddenly I only see beauty. And people come later to me, they say, why were you talking to that person? And I was like, Oh, really? Yeah, maybe. But I saw this beautiful person, you know?
Yeah. And then you don't even understand them anymore. You just connect to that energy of bliss, and you're like,
Yeah,
yeah, you know,
beautiful.
yeah.
People are so beautiful when they speak from their hearts, when they just send this. I just love when people are sort of innocent. And innocence for me is being the pure self that I haven't processed yet. And that was the unfairness that I felt, and
The
injustice,
what?
injustice that was done to me.
Uh-huh.
But thinking about that consciously, I had to recognize that I might have been not that honest in my own responsibility in that. So I did feel that it was very beautiful that it came to my awareness that way.
Like you're not ready, and that's okay.
Like I was ready now. I wasn't conscious of it yet. I thought I processed it all,
Oh,
and I had forgiven, forgotten, just moved on. But my unconscious showed me that there was still this thing that needed to be healed and worked on, to take a responsibility over. Yeah. So when I woke up, I was like,
it's a big
why
thing.
again? What?
But it's a big thing. Like, how did I let this happen to myself? How couldn't I have seen how this was hurting me and everything and all this time? But also it's also a bliss, because that's how you got here now. So you
Right.
needed it.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, but I know that on a conscious level, but somehow unconsciously I didn't. And also what came to mind, and it's beautiful now that we're having this conversation, because we were talking about integrity. Why did it happen to me? Because I didn't stand in my integrity. Because my frustration is still that I didn't get to speak my truth, on how they hurt me and the reason for it. Because I felt there was no need to, you know. But now I see that a part of that was my responsibility as well. What I didn't do was take my right place, just like you are saying now. What is my right place and what is my space? And that I need to stand in my integrity, because that's my space and my place.
And it's a bit counterintuitive, because we think like, oh yeah, like oneness and like taking care of the whole and everything. But to reach oneness, we have to go through the self.
Right. Because all
And
is
the self has all the things. Yeah. And the self holds all the things, all the pains, all the conditioning, all the everything.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. And forgetting the self and jumping to the whole is not only a disservice to self, but also a disservice to the whole.
Right.
Because I'm connecting to the whole, not from within.
Right.
From where? I don't know from where.
Ego.
Yeah, it's weird. From ego.
From
Yeah,
mind.
okay.
Yeah.
From how I think people can be helped.
The projection that we have on others. Yeah. And the projection we hold, the story that we tell ourselves, that who we are. And that's so conditioned.
Story that we tell ourselves of who we are. Yeah. Wow, yeah.
The big one, right? We have so many stories on who we are.
One.
Yeah. But
And
then
it's a lot of work.
Yes, because then the question comes, then who am I? Like you said, who am I?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's so simple and yet so difficult, and the difficult is yet so simple, you know. It's the duality.
Yeah, but we're puzzle pieces. So it was really vibrant those last few days that we are puzzle pieces. And if we try to cut our puzzle pieces the same way that we see other puzzle pieces, the puzzle won't be completed. It won't match.
And that's why the individuation is so important, that we become our true unique self, because then we fit in the puzzle. And then we go back to what we the first things I shared, like if everybody is their uniqueness, then they take their right place, and then everything, you know, will work like a clock. Every piece fits, and then you've got this picture, this beautiful picture. And that's the mission that I felt the first moment I started with human design. I saw this like, oh, wow, everybody can take their right place, you know, and they feel happy because they feel valued and they feel seen for exactly what they have to bring. But we're so conditioned on what we think we should bring to be acknowledged and to be seen. I have to be like them because they look up to him, or they, you know.
Yeah. But still the mental projector thing is still it's still difficult for me to understand, you know.
Well, you gave a beautiful
among all
example.
of this.
You gave a beautiful example when you said, when Dion and Helen shared with you that you have to let it go through you, because when you let it go through you, it becomes your wisdom, because you have felt how it felt. But it's not you, but you empathize with it because you have felt it, you know how it feels. That's the beauty of the openness.
So I'm like a super empath.
Right.
And it's hard to use it.
No, you're still learning, like I am.
I mean, it's not. I can't say it's hard. Yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard. It's easy. It's easy to use it. It's coming to me.
Yeah. It's only your mind that is interfering, right? Trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
And it only has to register. Yeah. But the mind thinks it's
this
important.
Michael guy is a manifesting generator.
Of course he is. You're always trying to know.
And he was like, yeah, like everything really fast, everything very controlled, and because he's in this control mode, and I'm like, I release control. We're still like trying to sing it to him to help, and he was getting mad. But I really, like, his energy really fed me somehow. Like I didn't feel seen. I felt like shit. We were together, and he was like talking about his ex, because his ex saw his children on an ayahuasca journey, and she should be there with all of us. She would love it and everything. And then there was another girl from Brazil that he fell in love with a few years ago that he was gonna meet. And like, yeah, okay, but let's live in the now, please. I mean, I'm here now. I'm not her. I'm also not the other girl. That was a bummer.
Yeah, you kind of found each other. Like he filled your empty spaces, right? That's why it felt good. He has this energy, you know, the root and the sacral and this this buzz, you know. And you filled a hole in his heart because he was thinking about those other women. So you served each other by filling each other's voids, kind of. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's a beauty.
It was really interesting because when we slept, we wouldn't. It wasn't sleeping. It was really weird. The sleeping. We did feel rested, but it felt really weird to sleep with him. It felt like we were some sort of awake somehow in the sleep.
Yeah, for you to
really
try to sleep next to a manifesting generator is a no-go. You're not gonna sleep. Too much energy. You know, a projector really should sleep alone or with another projector or reflector.
Yeah, but I need to marry a manifesting generator, but sleep with a projector.
Uh, no, just sleep. Have different beds, a few meters apart. Like the aura is like two
But
arms.
it's so good to sleep like this.
I know, but
What about cuddling?
yeah, you just cuddle and then you say good night and then you go to your own bed. We did that too. And
That's
I'm a manifesting
weird.
generator and my husband is a generator, but he has an open route. So in the beginning, I had too much energy and he didn't sleep well and he needed his rest. So, and I was kind of like, I still want to do this and this. So I slept in another bed a few meters apart for quite a long time, for 2 years, I think. But first I was, because I feel so safe when I lay my head on his chest. And this like this, I feel this that I'm a little girl and I'm safe, the feeling.
Yeah.
And I just, when he almost falls asleep, then I just go away, and that works. Now we have kind of sort of attuned our clocks. If I don't know otherwise how to explain it, but now we can sleep both. So he comes to rest when I lay on his chest, and then we say good night, and then I just put things in my ear because I sleep with the music. I still maybe send you a message or something, and then when I say to you I'm lying in my bed, I'm going to sleep now, I'm like sort of cooling down my engines, and that takes like half an hour, and then I go to sleep. But
you should only sleep when you're very tired, right?
Yeah, and a generator has to sleep like they have less energy than that I have. So like 10, 11 o'clock is limits for my husband. But when I have this drive to do something or, still have a drive, I have to clean out my energy. I have to I have to let it out until it's empty. Like you said, I have to empty it out before I can go to sleep. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I have to sleep way before I'm tired.
I know. Or in between, like I said, you can work 3 hours and then take 2 hour nap or whatever to be in nature. And then you can work maybe 2 hours and then you have to retire again. And that's okay. It's perfect. Everybody is perfect in their design. There's a reason for you that the things that you do in these 3 hours or in a day, max 5 hours, is enough to fulfill your part in the whole. So you don't have to feel guilty about it or feel like I have to do more, I have to be more. No, what you're doing is just enough. Yeah. And I need to have like 10 different things and I'm working on 10 different projects or being in 5 communities or whatever because I need to release my energy. That's the reason why. And some things will work and some things won't work. And that's all part of my journey as well as a 4-6. I just, have to be everywhere and see what works and doesn't work.
Yeah.
Where do I belong? Where don't I? Where do I learn something? And where do I gift something? The wisdom that I gained where it didn't work. And yeah.
Yeah, this girl, Natalia, actually, she gave us a very interesting transmissions like if you don't have the story, the body, and everything exactly like you need it, why would you be here?
Right.
Like, why would we ever think that things wouldn't be perfect the way they are? Yeah, the mind. Yeah.
Everything is perfect. I told you before, like everything that I went through, when I was in it, I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening to me? And not again, why am I here? And now I'm like, I needed these experiences to become this happy person. And to say to the people that are in to say there's hope, there's light. You just have to work through it. It has a reason, and it's such a beauty to experience this. And that's the reason why I had to experience it myself, to relate, to be able to relate, but also to bring hope. you know, the 6 is the role model, to be the role model of hope and love and all the beautiful things that come forth out of your journey at the end.
And what is the 4?
The opportunist. So I encounter a lot of adventures and opportunities to experience things. They can be good things, bad things, whatever I choose. If I listen to my inner authority, if it's going to be a good experience or not. But again, labeling what is good and what is not, but not to get hurt, really hurt. I really have to listen to my inner authority. And then I can look back, even if something doesn't work out like you might expect, then it's still a good experience because you have gained wisdom from it. And I'm at a stage that I can say I almost don't have expectations. I really see it as an adventure. And that has set me free a lot. Yeah.
And you have a gene key about that too, right?
Yeah, that's my channel 3536. That's also, you know, experiencing a lot. It's a jack of all trades. So meaning you, you try things out no matter what. And that's why you're a jack of all trades, because you have tried everything. You know about everything, right? And that's why I stick my nose in every community and every call, and you know, just for the experience. I just want to know. And the 36 is also my attractor field. So, and that's within relationships. So a lot of relationships for me, every person that I meet and have a relationship with, even for a short while, and even when I go to the grocery store or whatever, there's a relationship at that moment. There's something there to be healed. So if I trigger someone or if somebody triggers me, there's an opportunity to heal. And that's why I attract all these people that will trigger something and will give a new experience. And yeah. Yep.
Do I have this too? Or everybody has it in some level, of course.
Well,
but you are like stronger. Like this makes it more vibrant in you.
Yeah, for me, it's an important placement. Like they say, we have all the 46 keys or genes within us. Only if you have them in your profile, they're a constant flow. So you attract it always. And when, like for the gene key of the week, you just have it for 6 days in your profile, and then you can experience it for just a few moments. So that's the difference. Okay. For me, it's a constant. Yeah. Let me see.
Okay.
I can see. I'm pulling your chart now to see if you have it. Marina.
Marina.
Yeah. No, you don't have it. Oh yeah, no, you do have the 35 from the throat, but not the 36. It's comes from the emotional, the solar plexus. You don't have that. But you do have the 35. Yeah. Yeah, I've bought some new lectures because I feel kind of not stuck is not a good word, but I still know I have to go through a bump in the road, I call it. You know, regarding the future on how I want to go further with the gene keys and with human design and my coaching and the how, and you know, and so I bought the ebook about the nodal nodes. Yeah, so north node, south node, and the PHS about the colors and tones again, or not again, but a more in depth, because I have the PHS about environment, and I don't know, it's a book from 115 pages, and this one is also 115 pages. But also talking about the fourth and the sixth line, because the sixth line, you know, it's very important, because the fifth line is like the leadership of the cross of planning. And now we entered the age of Aquarius, We've gone from the cross of planning to the cross of the sleeping phoenix that will activate in 2027. And the sixth line, and it relates to the individuation, is the new leader. The new leader, because it's the role model of unique truth and individuality. So standing in your own integrity, being your uniqueness, is the leadership. You're showing that people need to be their true selves, not the conditioned selves. Because we went from the seven-centered beings like in 1700, whatever, and even 300 years later, that we are a nine-centered being, we are still homogenized like a seven-centered being, like being in fear and survival and listening to authorities, like beautiful examples, like a child, when it's being born, it sees that its mother gives the authority to the father, and the father gives the authority to the boss, and the boss gives it to another. And then you get to the elite, right? So everybody has somebody else to be the boss. And we have to become the role model of being the boss of yourself, of your own life. And then again, if everybody does that, everybody takes their perfect place in this space, and everything will work. The puzzle will be.
Yeah. Wow. Where can I read about this?
You can't.
It's about the six.
The sixth line, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The sixth line.
I haven't. I just bought it yesterday, so I can share some stuff.
Oh, okay.
But first I have to go through it.
Well, whenever you feel like, when you're going through it, like, oh, Marina, this.
Yeah. You know our.
Yeah, and it's a bit of like it's very dual, because at the same time, the age of Aquarius is a time for collective consciousness and expansion and stuff like that, but it only happens through us.
Right.
So that's where the individuation comes. Really
we come
important.
Together when we know where we fit in the whole. Yeah. You see, that's why individuation is a part of becoming whole.
Yeah.
Beautiful, right? It's like a mind twister.
Very beautiful.
But it's
It's connected.